Okay, the last day that we are going to take for our Unit 2B is graphing lines and writing equations. So all of this should be big time review, but I know that it's been a while since you have seen it. Remember that each one of these equations is easiest to graph when it is in slope-intercept form. So remember that slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. And we're essentially solving the equation for y and then graphing the y-intercept and counting the slope from there. So we're going to start here. I'm going to move over the 2x. So I'll have negative 3y is equal to negative 2x plus 9. And then divide everything by a negative 3 to give us y is equal to 2/3 x minus 3, and this is the equation that we then want to graph. So I'm going to come down here on the y-axis to negative 3, and my slope tells me up to over 3. And I can also take the negative of both of those and go down to back 3. And then we're just going to draw on those lines. These extend without end, so make sure that you go ahead and just extend those lines outside the perimeter of your graph. All right, 4x is equal to negative 3y. Oh, sorry, 4x minus 3y equals 0. So I'm going to move over the 4x. Negative 3y is equal to negative 4x. You can leave that plus 0 out there, or you can just omit it. Divide everything by negative 3. So y is equal to 4/3 x plus 0. So this is going to go through the origin. And my slope is up 4 over 3. I can also go down 4, back 3. And then we're going to draw in our lines. Don't lose track of those negatives. That is one very common mistake that tends to be made, is that we lose track of the negative and then our slope is wrong. All right, negative 4y is equal to negative 3x plus 8. Divide everything by a negative 4. So we have y is equal to 3 over 4x minus 2. I'm going to go down to 2 on the y-axis, and my slope is up 3 over 4. I can also go down 3 and back 4 and connect the dots. I find it easier, especially in Notability, to graph one on either side and then connect them, rather than trying to get my lines to go all the way through. Okay, 3x plus y is equal to negative 2. So I'm going to have y is equal to negative 3x minus 2. You can go ahead and put this over 1 if you'd like to. So I'm going to start out here at negative 3, and negative 2. And my slope tells me down 3 over 1. I can also go up 3 and back 1, and then connect the dots. Don't forget that if you have a negative slope, it should go down as you work your way from left to right. All right, x equals 4. This tends to be one of the most missed types of equations. Your line has to go through whatever axis you see. So if this is x equals 4, I'm going to come over here, and this, let's say up here, this is 4, 5. This is 4, 0. And down here, I would have 4, negative 5. And notice that in each of those, x is equal to 4. So you've got to go through the line of the axis with the letter that is in your equation. 4x plus 5y is equal to negative 10. So 5y is equal to negative 4x minus 10. And then when we divide both sides by 5, I'm going to have y is equal to negative 4/5 x minus 5. And we're going to do the same thing. Go down to negative 5. This is down 4 and right 5. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5. I could also reverse the negative, and I can go up 4 and back 5. I didn't go up far enough. There we go. And connect the dots. And there we go. Always put them into y equals mx plus b before you try to graph them. So we have point slope form, which is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, where x1, y1 is a point on the line. And we have standard form. Now remember, in standard form, we have no fractions or decimal coefficients, so the big number's out front. And we want our leading coefficient of x to be positive, so a cannot be a negative value. Remember that our formula to calculate the slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I'm going to kind of breeze through these. Think about the points that you have and what information you have, because in this case we have a slope and we have a point. So I'm going to put this into point slope. So point slope is y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace these two values with 5, 2. So y minus 2 is equal to my slope 3 times x minus the x value of 5. And it wants us to list these in standard form. So here is my point slope. And we're going to go ahead and start transitioning through this. So distribute the 3 first. Y minus 2 is equal to 3x minus 15. Move over the 2. Y is equal to 3x minus 13. Here is our slope-intercept form. So I'm going to move this back up here. Y is equal to 3x minus 13. In order to get this into standard form, we want to move the 3x over. So negative 3x plus y is equal to negative 13. And the last thing we need to check for is that we don't have any fractions, so that is good. But our a value is negative, so we've got to flip all the signs. 3x minus y is equal to 13. And this is our final standard form equation. So we need a point and we need a slope. How you get that information will vary from question to question. So in example 2, we are given 2 points. So I can use either of those 2 points, but I need to know the slope first. So to find the slope, I'm going to do y2 minus a negative 7 and x2, which is a negative 2, minus a negative 6. So negative 4 plus 7 gives us a positive 3, and a negative 2 plus 6 gives us a positive 4. So now I have my slope and I have a point. And let's plug that into point slope form. So y minus y1, so y minus a negative 7 is equal to my slope 3/4 times x minus a negative 6. Now, we can go ahead and distribute this. So let's do that. Y plus 7 is equal to 3/4 x plus, if this is 6 over 1, 3 times 6 is 18. 4 times 1 is 4. Now, before you freak out and start subtracting fractions and everything, let's get rid of those fractions. So multiply everything by that denominator. So 4 times y will give me 4y. 4 times 7 gives me a positive 28. And then these numerators just pop out by themselves. 3x plus 18. So let's rearrange things. I'm actually going to move the 4y over to the right and keep my x positive and move over the 18. So if I do 28 minus 18, that gives me 10. And I will have 3x minus 4y. Now you could rewrite the 10 on the right if you want to, but we don't have any fractions, and our a value is positive. Now, one thing that I want to show you, and I'll switch colors here, is if we have this, so y plus 7 equals 3/4 times x plus 6, you can actually go ahead and multiply by 4 here. Just make sure that you leave what's in the parentheses alone, because if I multiply that by 4 on the inside, then really I'm multiplying everything by 16. Or actually, rather by 12, because it would be times 4 times 3. So if you multiply it here, then you can just get rid of those fractions. 4y plus 28 equals 3 times x plus 6. And then you would distribute, and you'd end up back down here, but you didn't have to mess with the 3 over 4 or the 18 over 4. So on this example, we are given a point and an equation. In this case, all I need from this equation on the right is the slope. And if I want my new line to be parallel, then I'm going to use the same slope. So I have a point and I have a slope. I'm going to have y minus 4 is equal to m, which is a 2, times x minus x, which is 5. Distribute, y minus 4 is equal to 2x minus 10. And I'm going to leave the 2x positive. So I'm going to have a 6 and 2x minus y. So I'm going to have 2x minus y is equal to 6, if you want to see it written in the correct order. Now, a side note, if you don't remember your point slope form, you can plug this into y equals mx plus b and solve for the b. So we have an m, we have an x and a y. Y would be 4, m is 2, x is 5, and we don't know b. So 4 is equal to 10 plus b. So a negative 6 would be equal to b. And then we just plug it back into y equals mx plus b. Y equals, the slope is still 2x minus 6. And we rearrange. Negative 2x plus y is equal to negative 6. 2x minus y is equal to 6. Both of those methods work. And the last one here, a line through negative 2, 5, and perpendicular to y equals 2x plus 7. So the slope of this line is 2 over 1. So the slope of my new line will be negative 1 over 2. And now this is the information that I want to use. So y minus my y coordinate 5 is equal to the m, negative 1/2, times x minus negative 2. I'm going to go ahead now and multiply everything by 2. But remember, x plus 2 inside those parentheses is stuck for right now, so I can't touch those two. but I can have 2y minus 10 is equal to negative 1 times x plus 2. 2y minus 10 is equal to negative x minus 2. Let's see, I'm going to do x plus 2y. And then when I add the 10, I end up with a positive 8. As I did earlier, you can also take this and plug it into y equals mx plus b. We have an x and a y and an m. So y is 5. My slope is negative 1/2. My x value is a negative 2 plus the b that we don't know. So this is going to be 5 is equal to 1 plus b, and b would be equal to 4. And now we plug it back into the y equals mx plus b. So y is equal to negative 1/2 x plus 4, and then we would go about changing that into standard form. So 1/2 x plus 2y would be equal to 4, and then when we multiply everything by 2, we end up with our same answer. And this should be, I was getting ahead of myself, that should be a 1y.